What are you discussing?
So VLAN and in detail about native VLAN, and in there are two methods in the MEC the protocols DTP unit it have port method access trunk dynamic auto dynamic desirable non-negotiable.
Have you checked all those practically? Have you done?
No.
No? Why?
All not.
Why? What is DTP?
DTP dynamic trunking protocol.
I know that dynamic trunking protocol. Why we use that one? Yes, Manoj.
Sir, it's communication between two switches. When the switches are kept in trunking mode, that's we have seen five different two different DA and DD.
My question was, what is DTP?
Protocol.
Yeah, it is a protocol.
DB is protocol. It generates request with trunking.
Mm-hmm. What was the question I asked? Exactly. What is dynamic trunking protocol? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It is. The name itself will tell you it's a protocol. Mm. That's 4 classes. Why? That's why I forgot your face. Not even online. Why? I mean, sorry, you didn't watch the video. You didn't? Are you okay?
Communicate between two switches, to configure them or communicate over different virtual networks
Mm-hmm.
through protocols and dynamic auto. NTP has to convert it to trunking network.
Yeah, online, Mr. Bosu. What is dynamic trunking protocol? Mr. Bosu, can you hear me?
Yeah, need to go through video once again.
Okay. Mr. Narendra. Narendra, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, what is DTP? I think yesterday you were there, right? Yeah.
Hmm. So it will negotiate for a trunking between the two switches
Yeah. It will
to
negotiate
activate. Yes.
for the trunking automatically. Okay, dynamically. Yes, we don't need to do anything manually. If you so what is the by default mode it will be there on the switch port?
Dynamic auto.
Dynamic auto. Okay, but till then it will not get any request from the opposite end. It will not become more trunk port. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Pradesh, what is this native VLAN? Pradesh, are you there? Vaishnav?
Yes.
Yeah, what is native VLAN?
Uh, I'm not sure about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So today's new topic, protocol I can say, that is a VLAN trunking protocol. Okay. Why exactly we use this one? In simple words, I'll tell you, like, let's suppose we have a campus. In that campus, let's suppose like we have some 20 to 30 switches. How much? 20 to 30 switches. And on each switch, on one switch, we have to configure, let's suppose like 20 VLANs. So is it an easy task to do? Is it an easy task to do? We have 30 switches. Okay. On each switch, I have 20 VLANs. So can a network engineer, yes, can he configure this 30 switches with a 20 VLANs? Is it a easy task to do? Yes or no?
Yes.
Sure.
Once we can provide 4,000 VLANs, 4,000.
You didn't get my question.
No, it's not easy.
It's not easy, right?
It's possible, but it will take more time.
It'll take a lot of time. Okay, because he has to go to each and every switch and has to connect to that one, and he has to open the CLI, and he has to every time say VLAN 10, VLAN 20, VLAN 30, like that. He has to create all those VLANs. Okay, I said 20 VLANs. Yes, and again he has to go to the next switch. So like that, how many he has to cover? Like 30 switches. Okay, so it's not a easy task to do. Okay, so that's the reason what the Cisco has done. They found one VTP, that is a protocol that we call it as a VLAN trunking protocol. So what exactly this one is? It is used to share the VLAN configuration with the multiple switches connected in the network. Okay, what exactly we do here? We'll make a server here out of this switch. Okay, we'll make one router as a server, sorry, one switch as a server. Okay, and that will be CCNA. It is used to share what? The VLAN configuration with the multiple switches connected in a network. Okay, let's suppose like we have a server. Okay, on that server, we are going to create this, what do you call, 20 VLANs. whatever the VLANs we wanted to create. 20 VLANs will be created on that one, and remaining will be taking the same VLAN database, okay, on their database. Okay, what it is used to? It is just used to share the VLAN database what we have in the topology. Okay, so here in this VTP, it manages the addition, deletion, and renaming of the VLANs across a network from a central point of contact or a central point of control. So now this central point of control means what? They're talking about this server. Okay, where we can add the VLAN, where we can delete the VLAN, we can modify the VLAN. Okay, whatever the VLAN modification we can do it on the server, and the same information will be sent towards any other switches which are there in the topology. Okay, so that's what the VTP is, and it will maintain the consistency throughout that network. Yes, obviously whatever the VLAN configuration we have on this server, so the same data will be forwarded to all the different switches which are there in the topology. Okay, and I already said you like VTP is a Cisco proprietary protocol. What do you mean by this one is? It is only compatible with the Cisco devices. It will not run on any other vendor devices. Yeah. So version 1 is the default version of this VTP. Yeah, we have versions here. Okay. So default version is what? Version 1. And the same version it will be running whenever you on this VTP. Okay. So as I said there are some modes we have in this VTP. In that, first one is server mode, second one is a client mode, and third one is a transparent mode. Okay. So you already know that what exactly the server can do. What is the server mode? As I already said where we can maintain the database of this VLAN. Okay, where we can add, where we can delete, we can rename or modify it. Okay, and the same will be given to client devices. Clear? So you can see here server mode, it is having a permission of read and write. Okay, it is having permission of both reading and writing of the VLANs. Yes, so it is a default mode. Which is the default version? Version 1 is the default version in the VTP, and which is the default mode. Default mode is a server. Okay, whenever you enable this VTP, okay, the first mode it will be working with a server. Then you have to configure if you want them as a client or if you want them as a transparent. You have to configure by yourself. Okay, but by default all the switches will be running with the server mode. Okay, where we can create, we can modify, we can delete, and we can rename the VLANs. Okay, and it is going to send the same VLAN database, or it is going to advertise the same VLAN database to every other client devices. Okay, understood? And it is going to help the client devices to sync VLAN configuration and save the configuration. Okay, once we study this client mode, we can understand what exactly this one is. Sync VLAN configuration means what? Whatever the database it is having in this VLAN, okay, so it is going to be sent towards a client device, and the same database will be synchronized with this server. The client will going to synchronize the same database with this server mode switch. Okay, and the client devices don't save the VLAN database. They will just take it from the server. They will not save it. Sorry? No. So server will save the configuration, but clients will not. Okay, I'll show you practically, don't worry. Next we have client mode. So here we cannot add, modify, and delete the VLANs. Why? Why we can't do that one? Because whenever you make this switch as a client, it will just be like a client. What it will do? Whatever the server is sending, I'm going to take it. I'm not going to be allowing like modification or creating or deleting of the VLANs. Whatever there in the server mode, I'm going to take that one. Okay, by synchronizing with that VLAN database. Clear? So it forwards the advertisements. I mean, let's suppose like to this client device, let's suppose we have these 3 switches. Okay, and this is my server, this is my client, and this is also my client. Okay, so what these client devices will do, this is switch 2, switch 3. So both will synchronize the VLAN database from this server mode. And this client device, okay, which is connected to one more client switch, okay, it will forward the same database to the next switch, that is switch 3. Okay, but it is not going to save that one. It is just take it, okay, and forward it. Understood? And the same thing, it is going to forward the advertisement and synchronizes the VLAN configuration with what? With server. Okay, and it doesn't store its VLAN configuration. Same thing I said you, it doesn't store it. And learn the VLAN database from the server every time it boots up. What do you mean by boots up? As I always said, you doesn't store its what you call VLAN database, and whenever you turn on or reboot the system, okay, it will take the VLAN database every time from the server mode. Okay, so this was about the client mode, and the second one is what? Sorry, third one, transparent mode. Okay, so what is this transparent mode? It is kind of a server mode only. Okay, so here also we can add, modify, and delete the VLANs, and it saves the VLAN configuration as well, but of its own. It will not give its own VLAN database to any other switches. It will be having its own VLAN database. Okay, so it doesn't synchronize VLAN configuration. Okay, not even from the server. Yes, obviously we don't have any kind of a database with a client, so it is not going to be taking any from the client device. Okay, so it just forward the advertisements to other clients or server. So what it will do? So let's check, like we have these 3 switches connected. So this is my server, this is my transparent, and this is my client. Okay, so what the transparent will do, it will take the data from the server and just forward it. It is not going to store this server database inside this memory. Yes, but that will also create one configuration, and that will not be sending it to any other switches. It will be keeping with itself. Okay. हाँ हो सकता है. It will not share its database with any kind of switch. It just passes the database through it. Same thing I said you. What it does? It will not share its database. Its data means what? It's not going to share its VLAN information with anyone. Anyone means what? Anyone, even with a server or client. But it will take it from the server and it will give it to the client. Okay, it will be just like a transparent. I'm just taking it and giving it. I'm not going to have it in my VLAN database. Okay, this is what the transparent mode is. Okay, but yeah.
Why do we need to connect transparent?
Let's suppose like we connected a new switch to the what you call topology. Okay, still we don't want this switch to be performing in the VTP protocol. So in that case, we can make it into transparent mode initially. Okay, later you can put it into the VTP domain. Okay. So conditions to share this VLAN database on the VTP. Yes, we do have some conditions. So if they are having these conditions or parameters, then only they will be sharing the VLAN database. What is that? First thing, they have to match with the domain name. Domain name must match, okay, and that is a case sensitive. Let's suppose like we are making this as a server, and on this server, for this VTP, we are creating a domain. Okay, let's suppose like we are creating a domain called Cisco. And the same should be configured on transparent client, whatever the switch we have in the topology. Then only the client's devices will be able to take the VLAN database from the what? Server switch. Clear? And second one is what? If you are configuring any password on this server device, okay, in that case, that should also match. Otherwise, it will not take any or synchronize any database from the server. Okay, and even the same goes with the version also. If you are making this server as a version 2 and this one, if you are keeping it as a version 1, no, it will not going to be exchanging any kind of VLAN database. Okay, so both should be version 2 only. So version also should match. Clear? Now we'll see it practically. I hope everybody are practicing this, right? On CPT. Just to be honest. They started. They practiced the VLAN. Sure. Murali, why? Waiting for more. Then started. What you practiced? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. You noted, right? Dynamic. More examples. I didn't get your question. I think I done every modes yesterday, right? One more means what? I didn't get it. You want me to configure it again? Okay. Now tell me, trunking happened or not? Does trunking happen between these two switches or not? No? Sure. Because both are into auto mode. They are waiting for what? A request. Because none of the port are now trunk port. Okay. So either we have to make this as a trunk or this as a trunk. Then only the trunking between these two switches will be enabled. Okay. Now what I'll do, I'll just go to this switch 3. I mean the first switch, CLI. So interface. First line is 0/1. Okay. Next. Switch port. Forget about the VLANs. Why access? But to make it trunk, right? Manually you're making it trunk. Okay. Or you want to make it a dynamically? You want it dynamic? Dynamic. Okay. Dynamic, switch port mode dynamic. If I say question mark, I said you, it will give you two options. One is auto, second one is a desirable. What if I make it auto? It's already auto. Okay. Then obviously I have to go for the desirable. Okay. Desirable. Then that's it. Okay. once it goes down and then it'll up. Okay, now if I check it, show interface trunk, there it goes. Path 0/1 become what? Trunk port, and status is what? Trunking. Yes, and it is using 802.1q encapsulation mode with the mode of dynamic desirable. Okay. Now at this side also, if you go and check, I didn't do anything on the switch 2, but still it created a trunk link. How it is? Because of this auto mode. As I already said to you, all the ports of the switch port will be running on the dynamic auto by default. Okay, so because of that, it got the request from the opposite side. Yes, and then it became the trunk port automatically. Am I clear? And then if you want this also dynamic desirable, you can do that. Interface faster than /1 and switch port mode dynamic desirable. Okay, and if you want to check, show interface trunk. Sorry, just question. You can see there it just changed this to, mode to desirable. Okay, so now if you try to disconnect this one and try to connect with one more, immediately the trunking will happen. It will not wait. Okay, let's suppose once I delete this one, yeah, I'll delete this and I'll take which cable we use? I'll take this one, /1, and I'll connect to /2. Do you think the trunking will be happened? Sure. Desirable. Happen. I didn't do anything on the /2, but it happened because of what? The opposite end was what? Dynamic desirable. Okay, and by default it will be running on the dynamic auto. Then they exchange the DTP request packet, and this link become what? Trunk link. Clear? Is that clear? Still, if you want something more, no. Yeah, I forgot to ask your name. What's your name? Gayatra. It's already been 2 weeks. This you are on online class. 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. This is 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Asking like why in
Sir, what is the combination of DD and access?
sorry?
What is the combination of DD and access? If desirable will keep on negotiating for access, right?
No,
The link may go down.
access will not become a trunk, because already we said like manually will sell like you have to be the access port. You have to take only one particular VLAN database. Okay, in that case, the trunking will not be happening.
Okay.
Okay. So, Okay, now you can see there the current status of this VTP. Still, I haven't configured any VTP. Okay, but this is a current one. Yes, because I said you this is a Cisco proprietary that will be running by default. Yes, and what is the version which is currently running? One. This is a default, which is the mode which is running with server. Okay. Do I have any domain name here? No. Still, I haven't created any domain here. Yes. So this is what the default version. Remaining thing, don't worry, you will learn it later in CCNP. What is the pruning? What is trap generation? What is what do you call configuration revision? Everything. Yes. And maximum VLANs it can support. How many? 255 maximum. Okay. Now what is this now?
Yes.
What is number of existing VLANs? What is this 5?
1.2 default one.
We have 5 default VLANs, right? I mean, VLAN 1, VLAN 1002 to 1005. So these are what? The 5 VLANs will be there by default in the VLAN database. Okay. The same will be showing here. Okay. That is what the existing VLANs in the VLAN database. Okay. Now what I'll do, I'll just show you on all the devices, like I said, right? Version 1 and server mode. It's a default. Yes. So enable show VTP status. You can see there. What is the mode? Server. What is the version? 1. On third switch, I'll show the same thing. Enable show VTP status. Same thing you can see. Version is 1 and mode is server. Okay. Now what I'll do? Let's forget about this switch now. For now. I'll just create some VLANs here. Okay. How to create the VLANs, Pratik? How to create the VLANs? It's very simple, right? Bharti? Diresh? Not every time you have to use a question mark.
Then 10 or whatever.
Not enter, you have to give the direct number. Okay, that's it.
Name.
You don't need to give name. You want? Okay. Your favorite HR I have given. Okay, you want to create one more? VLAN 20 and the name will be IT. Done? Exit. Okay, I have to exit. Done. Done. Two show VLAN I did. Okay, it shows like 2 VLANs. VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. The name of what? HR and IT. Okay. Now what I'll do, I'll just configure this VTP. Okay. So if I say VTP in question mark, it says like first give me the domain name. It says like what? First give me the domain name. Set the name of the VTP administrative domain. Yes. So what I'll do, I'll just give the domain and I'll give it as a Cisco and then just enter. What it says, changing VTP domain name from null to Cisco. Before it was nothing, so just change that to Cisco. Done. So later we can go for mode, version and password. Yes. Now let's do the same thing with this second switch also. So config t VTP domain name Cisco. Okay, so here also I change the name of the domain. Okay, if you want to check, do show VTP status. There it goes, Cisco, and current mode is still server. Okay, so here also I'll just show you, do show VTP status. Here also it got changed as a Cisco. Okay. Now, if I say do show VLAN here, what is not showing this VLANs here? Even though the VTP domain is same, okay, and I have configured VTP on both the switches. Why it is not showing the VTP? Sorry, this VLAN database.
Convert this into client.
No. Even though, okay, according to you, I'll just convert that into client mode. Okay. So VTP mode client. Done. Do show VLAN.
There are other conditions on
What is that? Think.
versions and the password.
No, just forget about the version and password now. Both are in same version now. There is also version 1, there is also version 1. According to that, the condition, I said like the versions and versions must be same. And I have not even given any password on this server mode. So forget about the password for now. Yes? Still, why they are not exchanging? What mode?
Access.
What access? Different VLAN?
Both should be there are different versions. So
Did I created any VLAN on this second switch? Then do the trunking, right? Yes or no? This link should be trunk link. Then only the data from this switch 1 to switch 2 can traverse. Okay. So exit from this one and just say interface faster than just /1 and switch port mode trunk. Done. Happen because of the auto. Yes. And do show VLAN. There it goes. Are they reflecting here on the second switch? Yes. So it was because of the trunking. Okay. Now what I'll do, I'll just create one more. Just exit and say VLAN 30 and I'll just give a name to this one. Sales. Okay. Exit, do show VLAN. Just change name as a sales. Yes. Let's go to the second switch and just check the same thing. Got changed? Got changed? Yes. So this is what the VTP is. So done with the domain name. That means domain name should be what? Cisco. Now what I'll do, I'll just change the domain name. So VTP domain, I'll make it as a capital C. Okay. Just change from this Cisco to the capital C Cisco. Okay. What it says? There's a beautiful message here. What is this message? DTP domain mismatch is happening. Unable to perform trunk negotiation on port /1 because of the VTP domain mismatch. Okay. Let's suppose like, so here also continuously it will be throwing you the message here. Yes. So I'll create one more VLAN, that is VLAN 40. Okay. Do you think it will be showing here? Yes. If I say do show VLAN, it will not be reflecting here. It is only VLAN. It is having only VLAN 10, VLAN 20, and VLAN 30. It doesn't have VLAN 40. Why? Because the first condition is what? The domain name should be same. Then only the exchanging of the VLAN database will take place. Understood? So now what we can do on this switch 2, we can give the same domain name. So VTP domain capital Cisco. Okay, just change the domain name. Okay, now if you check to show VLAN, in this case, it is reflecting. Is it? Yes, automatically it took the VLAN 40 from server, I mean the first switch. Yeah, both are in server mode, I mean right now. Okay, so this is about the domain name. Any question with the domain name? No? Sure. Online, any question? Mr. Bosu, Narendra, Pradesh, Vaishnav.
Fine.
Yeah, now what I'll do, I'll just give the password. Okay, so exit and just say VTP password. Let's give it like a Cisco 123. Okay, just change the database password to Cisco 123. Yes, and I'll create okay, I'll just rename that one VLAN 40 I had, and for that I'll just name it as what? Account. Okay, I just renamed it. Yes, that should be reflecting on the second switch also, right? No, it will not. If I say do show VLAN, it still says that I'm VLAN 40 only. I don't know what's the name of this VLAN 40. Yeah, it may be changed on first switch, but I don't know because password is getting mismatched. Okay, let's make the password same. So VTP password Cisco 123. What 3 or 4? Just change to, I mean the password got changed, Cisco 123. Okay, now if we check, there it goes. Account, is it reflecting here on second switch also? Yes. Yeah, this is about the password. Understood? Even though like if you change the password, exit and VTP password like just 1 2 3 4. Okay, we change the password here. Yes, and create one more VLAN if you want. You think it will be here? Sure. No. Why? Because password is mismatched. You can't see 50 here. Okay.
No old password required to change.
Coming in.
No old password required to change new password to new password. Correctly, we type VLAN password and change. It's changed.
Yeah, it changes. You don't need a old password. Yeah. What you're thinking? 1 2 3 4. Okay. Done. So do show VLAN. There it is making it. Okay. it is reflecting with the VLAN 50. Okay, this is about the password. Yes. Now, if I say VTP question mark, we're done with the domain name and password. Now we'll go with the mode. Already mode is done. Okay, this is client mode and this is what? Server mode. Okay. And this is already client, right? Let's stick with this side bit. This I'm going to make it as a transparent. And if you remember, while discussing the VLANs, I said something about VTP. What did I say? Remember? VTP in extended. I hope you already know that the standard and the extended, right? We have two types in range, 1 to 1005, and in the extended 1006 to 4095. And something I said in extended. No. Come again? No, it was server mode, right? I've shown you here. I said like, okay, now I'm going to change the mode of this one. Okay, the config T and not switch port, man. VTP mode transparent. Okay, I just changed it to trans mode, and which was a default one? Server. It was. Okay, so if you want to check, do show VTP status. There it goes. It is a transparent mode, and currently it is having 5 VLANs. Okay, now what I will do, I'll just create one VLAN again. So without instead of creating, I'll just rename the 50. VLAN 50 I have already, and I'll just name it as what? As NH. Okay, so done. Do you think it will go on the switch 3? Why? Sorry? You think yes? This is not ranking.
Not ranking.
Which one is not ranking?
So this more transparent.
Hmm?
We just need to shift one and visible or dynamic.
It's manual trunk.
I think it's auto.
This one.
Yes.
It's manually done. Trunk, right? Trunk is there. Trunk is there. Okay. I change the name to NH. If I say do show VLAN, but why still it is showing VLAN 50? Trunking is there.
Domain name, password.
Where? Okay, that too I'll give according to you. VTP domain. What's the VTP domain? Capital C. Done. And if you want to give the password, that will also give. That is 1 2 3 4. Okay. Enter. Done? Now,
What is taking to
which?
not the more, it's not a server, because
Check it properly and tell me the answer.
this is an auto desirable. Okay.
Dynamic
this is a-
desirable.
The auto, this is an auto mode effect. Two auto mode.
But trunking is there, right?
More than the
Status of that trunking is there.
don't dictate one, it's only receive from.
No.
But server transparent even
Come again?
don't auto mode. Server transfer.
But it is becoming trunk port, right? It is already trunk port. Fast Ethernet 0/1 is already trunk port. I said fast Ethernet 0/1 is already trunk port.
Also, the fast Ethernet cable is connected to VLAN around standard.
Honest answer. Guys, who is going to make this fast Ethernet 0/2 as a trunk? Yes. That to also be has to be trunk, right? Then only it will be sending the same information towards the switch. Because I didn't made this as a any trunk or a dynamic desirable, because it was connected with what? This switch 0, and on the switch 0 I made this interface as what? Fast Ethernet 0/1 as a trunk manually. That's the reason it was getting the request from this fast Ethernet 0/1. It was becoming the trunk port. Okay, so now either we have to make this fast Ethernet 0/2 as a trunk port or 0/1 as a trunk port, either of them. Then the trunking will be happening between these two. Okay, you can do it on any one of it. Yes. Interface fast Ethernet 0/2, and I'll say switch port mode trunk. Done. We check it here. To show interface trunk. There it goes. Both became what? Trunk ports. One is by with the help of auto, and second is a on. What do you mean by on? Manually I had done it. Okay, I said there are three methods. One is on mode, that is nothing but the manual method. Okay, and two, dynamic, that is dynamic desirable and the dynamic auto. Okay, so using these three, we can make one port as a trunk. Clear? Now, if you check here also, coming, is there an edge? Sure. No. I'll show you one more thing. I'll say VLAN. What is the extended mode? Extended range. Extended VLAN range. 100.62.4095. I'll just take 1006. Okay, and hit enter. What it says? VLAN create failed. The same thing I said you, and same thing as I was asking you. What did I say at that time? We can't create this range in either server mode or client mode. It is possible only in the transparent mode, if you remember. Okay, what it said? It is failed to create VLANs 1006. Okay, because extended VLANs not allowed in the current VTP mode. Which is the current VTP mode of the switch 0? Server it is. Okay, and let me try with the same thing with this client mode. And you already know that we are not able to create any VLANs in the client mode, even like your normal VLANs also. If I say VLAN 100, it says like, no, I'm not able to do that one because I'm in a client mode. I'm not able to create any. I'm not able to delete any. Getting my point? So totally that is not possible in the client. Yes. But if I show that the same thing in the VTP transparent mode, okay, if I say VLAN 1006, it took because it is in the VTP transparent mode. Okay. So here if you take 1005, it created one. Yes. But if you take 1006, it will not take that one because it is into that 1006 goes into the extended mode. Okay, that is not possible in the VTP server mode. That is only possible in the VTP transparent mode. Am I clear? Sure. So that's the reason I'll tell you, keep reading. I mean, before coming to the next class, just cover all the things what you covered in the previous class. Okay. Now, I created this 1006 created in a transparent mode. So can we see this 1006 in this switch 1 and switch 3? Sure. Why? Yeah, we can see, we can't see 1006 here. Okay. Why? Because the transparent mode will not share its VLAN database with anyone. It will not share its VLAN database with anyone. It will keep it with itself. Okay. Now, I have one question. I want to ping from this PC to this PC. Is it possible? I'm going to make both the PCs into VLAN 10. Okay, is it possible? Are you sure? Okay, let's configure that one according to you. Let's give the IP address to this first. Desktop IP configuration and then 10.1.1.1, my favorite. Sorry, it was start. Okay. So do I need to give the different network here? Different network. Different IP address of the same network. Okay, done. So let's configure the VLAN here. So that should be interface faster than 0/2. It should be what? Switch port mode. How trunk? Why trunk? I said it will be in the VLAN 10. How trunk? It should be access, right? Switch port access VLAN 10. Okay. Let's go to this PC and say, not PC, switch. So interface faster than 0/2 and switch port mode access and the switch port access VLAN 10. Done. Yes. Okay. So shall we ping it now? Okay, great. Go to command prompt and just say ping 1.1.1.3 or 2. Okay. How many if we say it's ping? It will ping. Sure. It pings Pratik. It will not ping Murali. No, why? Just stop this, don't worry. Yes or no? It will ping or not? Yes or no? Yes. Yes. No. Where? I just stopped it, man, don't worry. Yes? Yes? No idea. No, okay. It's not happening. What's the reason? This is a task for you. Okay. Tomorrow, I'll just ask you the same question and you have to answer why it is not pinging. From this PC to that PC, even though being same VLAN, same network, okay, and even VTP is also configured and even trunking also done. But still, why the ping is not happening? Okay. That you should know. Okay. That's why I said it's a task for you. Yes. Yeah. Within a second, I can tell you what is the reason. But you have to think it, right? Do it. Yes. Great. Yeah. This is what the VTP is. Any question here? Any question? Sure. No question. Okay. Next, we'll go with one more layer 2 protocol. It's a port security. Okay, layer 2 port security. Yes. So, what exactly this port security is? Let's suppose you guys are working in a company. Yes. Obviously, there will be a desks. Yes, there will be a desk to work. Yes. Let's suppose like these are the chair. Some 4 people can sit on that table, and opposite also they can. Okay. Now, here the person called A is sitting, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So 8 people are sitting like this. Yes. And this is their usual place. They will come and sit every day here. So what the network administrator will do, he will be assigning a particular PC and a switch port to him. Switch port, because he has to access the network and internet also, right? So that's the reason he will be having his own system, and to that system he has to give the internet, and to that, to connect the internet to that PC, okay, we have to have what network, okay, and for that one we should have a switch port. Yes. So everybody is having their own switch ports. That is defined here. Like to this port, every time only this A's PC is going to connect, and on second desk B's PC is going to connect. Okay, it is already connected. Yes. And if somebody comes and removes this removes the APC connection, then immediately something will happen to this port. Sometimes it will go to the shutdown mode. It will not allow any kind of data. Okay, so let's suppose if this B will come and try to connect to this switch port, then what will happen? This switch port becomes what? Shut down. Okay, that means it will not allow this PC, second PC to access the network through this switch port. Okay, this is kind of what? Port security. We can find it in layer 2. It's what? Port security. Okay. You can see here what exactly that one is. Port security is a network security feature that is used in a computer network to restrict and manage access to network devices via specific switch ports. Okay, what it's going to do? It's going to allow or restrict some of the devices. Okay, by doing what? With the help of, you already know that switch always deals with what? MAC addresses. Okay, that means in this switch security, port security, we always deal with the MAC addresses, allowing the MAC address or restricting the MAC address. So that's the only thing we have in this port security. Okay. So what it does, it's a feature used in a computer network to restrict and manage access to the network devices via some specific switch port. And it is commonly implemented on network switches to control the devices, okay, that can connect to the network through the switch port. Obviously, we'll be connecting to the network via the switches only. We can't go to directly router and we'll be able to access the internet. No. Okay, there is a hierarchy, like we'll be having a router initially, and then we'll be having some switches, and to that switches will be connecting to the end devices like our PCs on computers. Yeah. So the same switch port will be configured with this kind of security. Okay, so port security helps to mitigate some security risk such as what? Unauthorized access, okay, or MAC address spoofing and network attacks, just like a denial of service. So these kind of what? These kind of the security risk what we have if you don't configure with the port security. Okay, so how to do that one? As I said, you every day same person is coming and sitting on the same chair and will be accessing the same switch port. So what the network administrator can do, he will take the system's MAC address and he can bind that MAC address with that switch port. Okay, so if he bind that one, if any other MAC address is coming, okay, so it is not going to be allowed. So MAC binding is really important in port security. Okay, you can see here we can do that by two methods. One is static and second is the dynamic. Okay, static MAC address, like network administrator can configure the switch to allow only specific MAC address to be associated with the each port. Let's suppose like we have a switch port fastnet 0/1. Okay, on this I'm going to allow a MAC address as a AA. Other than this AA, if any other MAC address is coming like AB also, it is not going to be allowing this particular traffic. Immediately this port will become what? Shutdown. Shutdown is a default violation mode. Okay, we'll discuss now. Yes. So that network administrator can do it statically, and he can take this MAC address of that device and he can bind it to this particular interface. Okay, how to do that? We'll do it later. Next is dynamic MAC address. So here the switch can learn the MAC address dynamically, but the number of allowed learned MAC addresses can be limited. So what you can do in dynamic one? So there is a command called MAC sticky, okay, which will learn the MAC address automatically or dynamically, and whatever the first device will be connected to that particular switch port, that will be binded or bounded with that particular switch port. Okay, so let's suppose like I have a switch port, yes, and for the first time after configuring this port security, I'm taking my system and connecting to that particular switch port. In that case, what the switch will do? It will learn my MAC address and automatically it will bind my MAC address to that switch port. And any other devices is coming and trying to connect to that switch port, it will be denied. Why? Because already it will say that I already learned one MAC address on this switch port. So I'm not going to allow any devices on this switch port or interface. Okay, this is dynamically. Understood? And if somebody try to get the access unauthorizedly, okay, there are some 3 violation modes in port security. Okay, so what are those? First one is the protect, and second one is the restrict, and third one is the shutdown. Okay, so out of this, shutdown is the default one. On every switch port or interface, shutdown is the default port security violation mode. Okay, so first one, when a violation occurs, like an unauthorized MAC address tries to connect, the switch will drop the traffic which is coming from the violating device, but the switch port will not go down. Okay, what I said, in shutdown mode, what happens? Immediately switch port goes down. That means that will be disabled. Okay, but in protect mode and restrict mode, it will not be down, but it will stop every traffic coming from the unauthorized device. Okay, and restrict is also same. Restrict is also same, but the difference is like restrict can generate the logs or alerts, but the protect will not. Protect will not generate any log or alert. Okay, but the restrict can do that. You can see here, similar to protect, but the switch generates an alert, just like syslog or a SNMP trap, and log the violation into the log server, which can be seen by the network administrator to check it immediately. Which MAC address tried to violate this particular security. Okay. Next, like how we can configure this one, port security. So port security settings are configured on the specific switch port, and administrator can define the maximum number of allowed MAC addresses per port and set the violation action, just like the protect, restrict, and shutdown. So how we can configure this one on a switch port? Yeah, this should be done on every switch port. Okay, not globally, but it's per port. Okay, so here you have to go on the interface and to enable the port security first. Switch port security, then only the port security will be enabled on that particular switch port. And then you have a feature of allowing how many MAC addresses on that particular switch port. Yes, let's suppose on one switch port or interface, you want to allow 2 MAC addresses at the same time. Yes, you can do that. Okay, or only one, that also you can do that. Understood? So for that, we use a command called maximum. Switch port security maximum 2. That means it will allow 2 MAC addresses. If the third MAC address is coming on that same interface, then it will go into the shutdown mode or a protect mode or a restrict mode. Okay. Next, we have aging, like port security can include aging mechanism where a MAC address are removed from the table after set of time period. And this is useful in an environment where devices connect and disconnect frequently. Let's suppose like we have a guest in our company and he said like, I just want to access the what? Internet. Okay, can you just give me a port? Okay. During that time, what you can do, you can set a time. You can set a certain time on that particular switch port where you are allowing him to access the internet. Okay. So after certain time, I mean that defined time, the switch is going to remove the MAC address of his device. If the MAC address is removed, then the switch will not allow any kind of traffic which is coming from his device. Okay, that is called as what? Aging. Yes, this is majorly used for the guest. Yes, guest user accounts. Next is sticky MAC address. So this allows the switch to stick learned MAC addresses to the configuration, which makes the MAC address persistence across reboot. I think I already said you sticky MAC address. Dynamically, whatever the MAC addresses it will be running, so that will be with the help of this sticky MAC address. Once the system reboots, then it is gone. Again, whatever the next device you will connect, that will run the MAC address from that device. Okay. Understood? Now we'll configure that one. It is kind of interesting. Can somebody write down this MAC address? Only one, not everyone. You have to tell me it later for static finding. 0060 3E 3B EE 8C 8C. Okay, done. Now let's go to this switch where I have to enable the port security. Okay, but the thing is like whenever you're enabling the port security, that port should be the access port. Okay, otherwise it will not take the port security. If you want to check, you can do it here. Interface, sorry, config T interface path Ethernet 0/1. Okay, where I'm going to bind this PC2's MAC address statically. That means that is permanent. Okay. And if I say switch port security, it says like this is a dynamic port. Okay, just make it as a access port. Okay. So switch port mode access, and then switch port security. Now port security is enabled on this one. Yes. Now, if I say switch port security question mark, it is allowing. It just forget about the aging for now. Next, MAC address is there, maximum is there, and violation mode is there. Okay. So let me show you this one first. Show port security interface faster than /1. Okay. What is this now? On faster than /1, this is what the configuration which is running of the port security. Okay. Port security is enabled and port status is what? It is secured down. That means still it is not connected with any other end device. What is the violation mode aside? This is the default one. Shutdown is what? Default shutdown violation action. Next is MAC addresses. Maximum it can learn only one. Okay. Total MAC addresses till now it is learned, that is 0. Configured MAC address still 0. Okay. Sticky MAC address, this is a dynamic one. Okay, still 0. And the last source address still 0 because still we are not connected any kind of device here. Okay, this is what the VLAN. Yes, and this will show you the security violation counts. Yes. Now, interface fast Ethernet 0/1 and switch port security MAC address. Okay, if I say question mark here, two methods again. One is what? Statically we can do, and second one is what? Sticky asset. This is what a dynamic secure address as a sticky. Now we'll go with a static. Okay, can you tell me that MAC address? 0060
3E, 3B,
3E,
3B,
3B,
double E, X,
double E, 8C. Okay, done. Now we'll connect this particular device with the switch port 1. Are connected? Yes. So let's assign the IP address. Done. 10.1.1. Okay. So now let's check like whether it learned the MAC address or not. Do show show port security interface faster than 0/1. There it goes. It learned one. Yes. And total MAC address, it is allowed to learn only one. And total MAC addresses is learning one, and that is also configured. Statically I have configured this one, and it is not learning dynamically. It is learning statically. Okay. So if you check it here, show what it says. This double E is statically given on this fast Ethernet 0/1. Okay. Now what I'll do, I'll just disconnect this one. Okay, and I'll try to connect the second PC. It turned on, the port is up. Okay, let me take this bit this side and let's assign the IP address. What become? I mean, did you check this interfaces? Immediately that become what? Down. Red. That means the ports are got down. Why? Why? Because the switch started to learn some. Even it will show you. Just change the state to down. It is into shutdown mode. Okay. So if I say show port security interface fast Ethernet 0/1, there also it will tell you this is secured down. Okay. Why? Because the violation has happened. Because it is allowed to learn only one MAC address, and that is also configured, and it already learned that one. But this time it is having some different MAC address, that is 6323. Sorry, 3623. Okay, so that's kind of a violation. That's the reason I made this interface as what? Down. Okay. Even though, like, if I disconnect and try to connect to the previous that is already bounded with that one, so in that case also the switch will be down. Because whenever any switch port of the switch, okay, goes down or shut down, yes, or that will go into the error disable mode, you have to manually open that one. You have to go on that particular interface and you have to say shutdown and no shutdown. Then only it will be start working. Till then it will not work. Even though this is what a legitimate already bounded with the same interface, but still it is not taking the traffic from this PC. Understood? So that's what the security is. So config C interface fast Ethernet 0/1, and you have to say shutdown and no shutdown. There it goes. Is it on now? Yes? Okay. Now what I'll do, I'll just enable the max sticky on the /2. Exit and interface fast Ethernet 0/2. First, you have to make it as a switch port mode access and switch port security enable switch port MAC address. Sorry, switchboard port security MAC address sticky. What do you mean by this one? What do you mean by sticky? It will learn the MAC address automatically or dynamically. Okay, just say enter. Done. And one more thing, I'm going to allow only one maximum. Switchboard port security maximum, maximum 1. That means it should allow only one MAC address. Okay, that's it. I'm going to connect this second PC to the switchboard 2. Okay, let's exchange some of the data packets. Just, yeah, it's done. So if you want to check, and just say show MAC address table. There it goes. Okay, 3623. Static. Show port security interface faster than /2. What it says? Securely up. Okay, and port security is also enabled. Yes. Now this time it is not showing it as a configured MAC address. Configured MAC address is 0 because I didn't do it manually. But dynamically it is learning. So that's the reason it is showing it like that. What? Sticky MAC address. Maximum is what? 1. Okay. Now what I'll do, I'll just disconnect this one. Try to connect the third PC. Now it will be connected. But if I try to assign the IP address to this PC, you just see here the switch ports. What happened? The port became what? Down. Shut down. Okay. Understood. So this was about the dynamic MAC address learning and maximum. Okay. Now again, what I'll do, I'll just connect the same PC. Again, what I have to do? I have to go on that interface 0/2. Now what I'll do, I'll just allow 2 MAC addresses here. What? 2 MAC addresses. Okay, I'm already on /2. Okay. Switch port security maximum 2. I'm allowing 2 MAC addresses should be learned on this particular device. Okay. So let me exchange some of the data packets here. So ping 10.1.1.1. It's pinging. Great. If you check, show port security interface faster than /2. Okay, it shows like maximum allowed 2. Okay, and currently learning 1 with the help of this MAC sticky, and the address is what? 3623. Okay. Now I'll just disconnect it. Okay, and try to connect the third PC to this one. Done. So let's exchange some of the data traffic. So I'll just say again 10.1.1.1. It is pinging. Done. Now if I check it again, what it says? You allowed me to read 2 MAC addresses, and currently I learned 2. It's a second one, that is D1DE. Okay, and the maximum learned, that is a 2. That is 2 dynamically. This is my limit. I'm not going to learn more than this one. If you want try to do that one, what will become? Let's check that one. How it is going to be shut down. I connected the fourth PC and let me assign the IP address on that one. Let's see what will happen. Desktop IP configuration and 10.1.1.4. What happened? Immediately the port became shut down. Okay, this was about what? The maximum, max sticky, and dynamic, the static binding of the MAC address, and then enabling the port security. Now it is left with the violation modes. Currently we have seen shutdown mode, and we don't have any kind of a server, syslog server. Okay, but both protect and restrict will be doing the same thing. Understood? Let's change the violation mode here. Switch port security violation. If I say question mark, protect is there, second one is restrict, and third one is a shutdown. Shutdown we already seen. Okay. Protect we have to see it now. Protect done. Let's exchange some of the data packets here again. I allowed two, right? Disconnect this one and try to connect with the second one. Okay, it is allowed, and let's exchange some data packets. Okay, now we'll see. Already it learned, I guess, two. Yeah, it's already two. Okay, now let's connect it to third one. Okay, to close this one, now try to ping. Is it pinging? No, it will not ping. Why? Because this is a third one, third PC, and I allowed only two. It already learned two MAC addresses. Okay, this is being the third one. So that's the reason this switch port 2 is dropping all the traffic which is coming from this PC5, which is having IP address as 10.1.1.4. Is it clear? Sure. Don't worry, restrict also doing the same thing, but in an environment where you have a servers, where you can get alerts, where you can get logs that can be alerted to the system, network administrator. Clear? Done? Any question about this port security? Okay. Is there anyone online? Mr. Bosu, Narendra, Pradesh. Any question here?
No, sir.
Fine.
Okay, if it is fine, then we'll stop it here. Okay. Yeah.
This one. We've given the transfer mode and the VLAN as 1006 now. If we change the mode now, what will
Mode.
you said you can change the mode after we connecting the system.
But I want this in the same scenario. I don't want to be changed the modes.
What if we change will it take the 106 1006 VLAN address, or it will drop itself?
It will take it. You can check it. Okay, but whatever the task I have given you, the mode should be same. Okay, you can check both. Yeah, no question? Sure. Nobody?